Hello there. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to the channel. You're hanging out with the one and only, the sports judge. I'm worried about the Philadelphia Eagles. Even though they won today, there was nothing pretty at all about that performance. There was nothing exciting about it. Overall, it was insanely boring. Not much happening in a game where the Eagles, in a sense, got lucky because the New Orleans Saints had opportunities and couldn't capitalize on them. I almost fell asleep watching the game. Weird. A very weird game from start to finish. It may have been the weirdest Eagles game I've watched ever. This was the stupidest coaching I have ever seen. A lot should be on Nick Sirianni and the coaching right now. It was messy. It was a messy game Sunday, and much of that mess was of their own making. They finished the game missing 4 offensive starters, and somehow the Eagles won the game. Devontae Smith left with a concussion. Lane Johnson was out. This just leads to more questions about the Eagles offense. And I already know social media, particularly Philly fans, were going absolutely nuts about the Eagles all day. Watching the Eagles play on Sunday is a heart attack waiting to happen. If they could, they would organize a class act lawsuit. I'm not kidding. Nonetheless, even if it wasn't what you had hoped, they still grind out a victory. I guess I'll take it. If you're the Eagles, you just can't keep doing this to yourself. You can't. You just can't. You're barely escaped an embarrassing loss thanks to being bailed out by the Saints' mistakes. When you have an opportunity, you cannot miss. And I just felt like the Eagles missed some of those opportunities and still won the game. Listen, I'm going to say this about the Eagles, that they cannot win with this offense. Not in its current state. And listen, that's what we've seen from the Eagles the last 3 weeks. They're not going into a game where they've taken control and blown out the other team. And I'm going to bitch about Nick Sirianni because I felt this man was already on the hot seat after last season. I was one of those people calling for his job. You know, Howie Roseman brings him back, and look what happens. And I can tell you, if the Eagles have anything close to last season, I think we can sit here and say both Howie and Nick won't be back in 2025. This might be it for both of them. You have 2 major problems with this football team right now. Nick Sirianni might be the worst game manager. It's almost like he's coaching for his job. And right now, after what I watched today, I'm ready to say he's the dumbest coach in the NFL. We've seen them. Right? I mean, this is what they do. The more and more I watch an Eagles game, I lose more and more faith in Nick Sirianni. A win is a win, but this team is absolutely fraudulent. They're poorly coached, and their quarterback is becoming increasingly hard to trust. And when you have a coach that puts the quarterback in a position to fail, that's a recipe for disaster. Poor Jalen Hurts. The offense was absolutely the problem today. You really have to question the coaching on this team. And you know, I'm all for being aggressive and taking that approach where you go for it on 4th down. But why on God's green earth would you go for it on 4th? Taking all things into consideration, there was 0 reason to go for it there. Unnecessary. That's one decision I wasn't on board with. I can't defend the head coach. There's no way you can justify that. That was just plainly stupid, knowing that Nothing had been working out for you all day. A boneheaded decision. And instead of taking 3 and evening the score, you elected to be greedy. And what happened? You come away with nothing. It's undisciplined. Bad situational football. Nick Sirianni looks like he's head over heels. He has no idea what he's doing or what's going on. When you're up just a little, you're giving the opposing team a short field advantage. What are you doing? What are you doing? The defense had been holding its own and dominating. You're asking them to come back on the field and bail out your offense again? Another sloppy win. A penalty and turnover riddled offense was scoreless through 3 quarters. This looks like what they looked like last year when they had that historic collapse. And quite simply, to put it mildly, they're not good enough to keep going for it on 4th down. And every time you look around, the Eagles continue to shoot themselves in the damn foot with penalties, miscues. You saw that in this game, particularly in that 3rd quarter. Promising drives resulted in 0 points. And I just felt like one thing after the next. This team could be very competitive if they clean up some things. If not, for timely, explosive plays and a turnaround by a once struggling defense, we would have staged a funeral for the Eagles today. And when you're getting penalized 7 times for 45 yards, when your offense breaks the huddle with too many players on the field, and when you have a key drive destroyed by a holding call or a illegal formation on 3rd down, that's never a good sign going forward. The Eagles were 1 of 3 on 4th down attempts Sunday. They're 4 of 7 for the season. Sirianni, a historically aggressive coach, elected to go for it against the Saints on the following situations. 4th and 1 at the Saints 46. Hurts completed a 6-yard pass to Goddard, if I pronounced the tight end's last name right, who had a big day, was productive. Hurts later fumbled. 4th and 1 at the Saints 15. That was another one. Barkley was stopped for no gain on the brotherly shove end around. 4th and 3rd at the Saints 34. Hurts was sacked for a 6-yard loss. Jake Elliott was within field goal range in a 3-0 game. Sirianni also chose for Elliott to attempt a 60-yard field goal with a 7-6 lead with 6:41 left in the game. This gave the Saints the ball at the 50. Derek Carr led a 9-play, 50-yard touchdown drive in which the Saints took a 12-7 lead with 2:03 remaining. It was that kind of day for the Philadelphia Eagles. Give Saquon the ball. Just let the man run. He was born to run. His 65-yard touchdown run gave the Eagles their first points of the game. Sometimes the Eagles coaches just look to outsmart themselves or overthink things, I guess. This is why they got Saquon to help on the offense, take the load off of the shoulders of Jalen Hurts. It was a great investment, and he went off. Once again, 17 carries, 147 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. If you give him the ball and let him run, they're usually successful. It's when they don't put the ball in his hands, when you have the sloppy, undisciplined football and a coach who tries to get too cute with his offense, and it usually results in a penalty or 4th and blunders, right? That's been the theme through 3 games. So there's a lot of things here that the Eagles need to fix moving forward. Or it's going to be like last year. It's going to be the same thing we saw last year with this team. And every week we're going to be talking about what the Eagles didn't do. Because you look at this game, the Saints were dominating in the trenches. They made some terrible mistakes at the worst moments, and the Eagles were able to capitalize on those mistakes. This would have been a blowout by the Eagles. It should have probably been a blowout by the Eagles. The Saints, they crumbled today. And today in this game, watching this game, football made 0 sense. It made 0 sense. What a collapse by the Saints. What an ugly win by the Eagles. Just an awful all-around game. One of the most bizarre games I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of NFL football. But I'm guessing here that Nick Sirianni is going to be out of a job if this team doesn't finally get it together. And Jalen Hurts is going to have to be a lot more efficient as well. But in order for him to be efficient, you got to establish the run game. You got to give the ball to Saquon Barkley. And then when that moment comes, you let Jalen Hurts deliver. I'm not sure if Sirianni is capable of coming up with a game plan that benefits Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Because I feel like they don't use Saquon Barkley enough. Give him more touches. Let him run the football. Let Jalen Hurts get comfortable with his other weapons. And you're missing players right now. A.J. Brown was out today. You didn't have him. So you let Saquon Barkley take control of this offense because right now he is the offense. He's the best thing that has happened to the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason. That was a great signing for them, a key addition for them. But I just think Nick Sirianni, and it's showing more and more, and as the season play out, we're seeing that Nick Sirianni is not the guy for the job. And I've said that before, and I'm saying it again, and I'll be very shocked if the Eagles have another season like they did last year, and Nick Sirianni is not gone by the end of the season. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate it. If this is your first time and you like this video, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. I'm checking out now. I'll see you guys most likely again tomorrow in another video. I want to talk about the 49ers. Man, what happened to that defense today? I'll probably talk about that next. That'll be my next video, focusing on the 49ers. The Rams looked impressive. Excuse me, I didn't see that coming. Honestly, I really didn't see that coming. But I'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. Take care, everyone. You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching. As always, thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. I'm out of here now. You guys have a good night. And hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Talk to you guys soon.